So I was asked by a few people, actually, which surprises me. I never thought this would ever happen to me, where I would have to make a Withered Night guide. Um, yeah, I'm actually quite shocked that anyone would even ask me to do that. I mainly am gonna start doing a lot of nude runs now, just to have fun with it. But anyways, Withered Night, in my opinion, is highly versatile. He has a lot of tools for a lot of different situations, but he can run whatever he wants in his skills. Personally, like I've found that he could do whatever he wants and get away with it, and like you can't go wrong. There's like maybe one skill that I deem necessary to have, and that's really it. So here, this is what I run for my skills for Greatsword. I'm only doing Greatsword. Polearm and Shield, I mean, that's something separate, and I played a little bit of that, and I have fun, but Greatsword is just so much better overall. Um, the most important skill in your life is always, always, always parry. Non-negotiable. This skill is great, especially with both talents, okay? For me, personally, I use both talents for that. But we'll get into the talents later. This is a non-negotiable must-have for me. I love parry. It works. It's versatile. The right click is a little iffy sometimes, but if you land it, you're golden. For me, this is only still for me. You don't have to run the other two skills, but this is my opinion and my build in particular. Thorn Guide. This ability is great on its own. Like, to be able to pull not only light mobs, but also players. Stop them from healing. As long as you have the stamina or the energy cost to actually pull them away. And then you get 2 free hits, or you go for your execution on your Wither, which we will get into more of that later. I've started running Radiant Retribution extremely recently. Honestly, yesterday. Like the day before this video. I used to run Withering Mark. It's still a great ability. The problem with Withering Mark is that it is a fixed distance, not even a good distance. But it can excel on its own. It can do good shit. But for me, I've been having less and less success with Withering Mark. But you'll see in some of my clips where I land this shit almost all the time because it has a good hitbox. It does. The range on is just not that great compared to like my Thorn Guide or like my Q. But people will double backdash pretty far, especially like Black Arrows or Shadow Striders. Like I can't do much with C if they're gonna backdash even further away than the range I'm given. But it can still land if you're timing it right. But that timing is very strict. So I stopped running it for now. There is one talent I probably would honestly recommend with this, but I'll get into that later. But Radiant Retribution, honestly, this button is good for making a sudden action. Like all of a sudden you just press C, you get 2 free swipes. If that lands, if those 2 swipes land, they will dodge, and then you can try and aim the last part of your C, your Radiant, but I really use it to interrupt. But I do have the execution on it. I did leave the execution on it. And you can't go wrong with Breakthrough Charge. Honestly, there's a tech with this. There's actually a cool tech with repositioning with it, too. That I don't see a lot of people even discuss about Withering Knights. But it is something to note. After you do the first stage of the thrust, you have a window to reposition and then use the next part. So when I mean reposition, you can literally dodge back and reposition either your branches. And it's great. It's actually really decent. For the most part, you should land the hit once you reposition, because a lot of the times opponents are not going to understand that you can reposition after the first stage. But I haven't been running it yet. I will eventually try it, but for now I'm sticking with what I have here. And now to the talents. I don't care about endless flow. I know my camera's in the way, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna tell you straight. I don't care about endless flow. The cooldown speed, it's not really gonna help as much as you think, unfortunately. You are always, as a great sword player, as a Withering Knight, great sword player, gonna run the great sword specialization. Getting a second sword ability is all you need. That's it. That's good. You're done. You're done with this. No more. Now this one, this next tree in particular, is more of a preference. I've seen both like reprieve into collective punishment. You don't really need auto execution. Or my favorite, my only personal favorite, crime into bad karma, and then you can get legacy after that. Crime is great because it just reapplies the wither action after you execute. That's good. That's cool. It doesn't consume it. It also even extends it, which is very important for the next bit. Bad karma. Bad karma gives your withering mark 3 stacks. 3 stacks that apply a debuff. The first one is movement speed. The second one is vulnerability, which is also really good. The third one is your true bread and butter. Honestly, the third one helps you win more fights than you realize. If you see how much like the damage numbers are, you think, oh, it's small. That shit adds up, and sometimes people don't actually notice that they're hurting a lot of the time. But at the same time, they have to make a split-second decision on, should I back up and heal? Or should I try and press the advantage as fast as possible and try and win this fight? While, like, trying to give him pressure. Try and make sure he's not going to parry me. They have to make a decision. One of those decisions is the wrong decision, and that's to back up and heal. Because you should, with proper stamina management, you should have Thorn or Breakthrough Charge. Either one. You should be able to chase them down and hurt them and apply another extend on your Wither mark. And guess what? The healing that they probably just got for a split second has just disappeared. They're now in panic mode. You see, bad karma is a psychological game. This is where you give them a choice. Do you want to live, or do you want to try and fight me and win in the next couple seconds? Because by the time I hit you again with my execution, you're most likely going to die. This bad karma is my favorite out of both of these archetypes, because it is a psychological game at that point. And then legacy for, killing small mobs, just preserving like your health and stuff. It's still good, but also it does help in some fights to, like, if you do get the kill, you'll get a small chunk of health, but that could be the difference. That could be a whole difference. I even have a clip of that making a whole difference in a fight, and it's good. It's honestly good. Seize opportunity. This I see this as a non-negotiable skill, and I see like other Wither Knights running this, and it's actually really important. It's literally 2 free slashes after a skill, and honestly, to me it just works every time. But remember, 2 hits from your greatsword, they're going to dodge. If they don't dodge, then at that point, try and execute, or maybe just reposition yourself and then go for an execute. As long as you have the wither mark on them, make sure to like always reapply it. That's what I try. For me personally, I use both. I think both are great. Tactical prep, it's great. It helps. If they hit this only applies once. Technically, you don't really have to run this. I find it helpful personally because I need this parry up like all the time. But the super armor, the unstoppable, personally, I've nearly been screwed out of several situations where maybe an enemy minion interrupts my slash. Or maybe the enemy caught me on a timing of when I'm gonna slash. It'll let you guarantee land that wither mark if they're trying to time you. they're always going to try and attack you no matter what, and you're going to get a free slash. But always remember to make the most important decision during the parry. Do I use left click or right click? A lot of the times right click is a little difficult to land because of how weird and wonky it acts. But it can land and it does wonders. Or you just do a regular slash. Either one will apply the wither mark. And then I'm just using whiplash. This is good. It's great. The two skills on this aren't all that crazy. Maybe long range might be good, but I haven't tested that one yet. But yeah, I'm using whiplash for this just for the sake of the execution. And it, like, Radiant Retribution alone does do good damage. It actually does. And I do like the skill. A lot of Withered Knights do run this. And sometimes it catches me off guard. And guess what? You don't need anything else. I will say one thing for the Withering Mark skill. That if you want to run that in exchange for, let's say, the C instead, I will recommend using Instant Wither. Because the opponent will never understand why the Withering Mark is not left their bodies yet. Because when they get hit by this, that's an execution, that's another stack on your bad karma, boom. You're so golden, and you didn't have to be near him for it. That's what makes Withering Mark actually really good. Fuck Impalement. You don't need this. You're never going to use it. Instant Wither is literally the only good talent out of this tree if you decide to run Withering Mark. And it's not a bad perk. And then Breakthrough Charge, honestly, Super Armor is neat. It's very neat. Or if you really want to push it, I'd say do both. Because this is just execute on the second part of your branch. And sometimes, most of the time, you should land the second part of your branch. As long as you know how to reposition. You don't need anything else from this. At all. The movement speed, there's no way this is ever going to be important to you. At all. You don't need it. Because once you thorn them, if you don't have the stamina for an execute, you can at least get your pursuit going, your left click pursuit after you use the skill. That's 2 free hits, of course. And they will either backdash to the point of where you'll right click your mouse and chase them. Like you hold it and chase. Alright, so that's really the talents in the skill tree for me. Personally, I don't have the gems right now. Or I actually might have the armor. I am all about DPS, but specifically, I'm all about burst. Burst DPS. I care about bursting. Because I like the feeling of my Withering Mark exploding their internal organs, and they'll still freak out when they're getting their health loss, when Dots is affected. Like, truly amazing. I love burst. I will always run burst. Let's talk about the why. I don't have Tavern 4, but you should definitely instant unlock it. It costs an arm and a leg, which I don't have. I've already been giving my arms and legs. But I'll start with Warblood, at the very least. I care about Burst a lot, and Burst only goes up to level 5. If you have gems that are for Burst, you're golden. You don't have to worry about this. In fact, you'll have better luck when you have maybe Fervid or even Valor. And for defensive skills, Stoic is pretty good. But whereas Aegis, I've had better luck with Aegis lately. And you can't go wrong with Tenacious either. So here, I'll even do it right now. If you don't have, burst gems, then you know what, that's fine. But you're gonna be crit hitting. You should be. You very well should be. I like Aegis. And honestly, you can go... Where is it? Where is the one I want? Fervid's really good. I think Fervid is great. Honestly, like... You should not really be losing so much health in order to activate Wrath. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. If you catch your opponent with, like, maxed out Wither stacks from Bad Karma, you should have a chance to heal on your own, and there should be no reason that you should be, like, losing health at that point. Because they're not going to attack you. They're going to worry about their health. If they care so much about their health, they're not going to attack you. They're going to try and keep backdashing or somehow escape the conflict. That's why I would rather run Fervid. You could also, yes, smiting is also important too. You should be landing that. And you can't go wrong with Valor either. You can't go wrong. This one, it's more preference, in my opinion. Okay. So this practice range is actually your best friend, believe it or not. You can spawn in a bot at level 3, and it will act like a level 3, actual good player. You can. This is what you can fight so far. Here. If you're at a great distance, I'd start with the parry. You don't... I wouldn't try, I would not try doing Thorn immediately. You really just want to focus on getting your mark at 3 stacks. You really just want to play your distance and get your marker at 3 stacks. It is literally so good. Because the bot had to make a decision. The bot had to literally make a decision. That's how you get players. Most of the time, the 3rd stack on your Wither is always going to be the reason they die. Most of the time. And your C, like, I'll say it again, like, the C button is, like, literally so good and important. Now, to fighting ranged units, it's actually difficult, believe it or not. He would have died either way. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you straight. You should always be able to start your parry. Your parry doesn't elevate you or anything, you just dash forward towards them. Unfortunately, you don't go next to them and say, nothing personal, kid. But yes, that's how I start my fights. I can't be the first one to strike unless I'm getting, unless like I'm around the corner and I'm ready to attack. You're like right there for me. But yeah, that's how I start fights. And then if they back up, thorn them, and then use your C to harass them if they're not a far distance, but a decent length from you. And then always, always, always stack your Wither. If you stack your Wither at 3, you win. You should be winning. If you somehow get outplayed, that's on you, man. But that's what this game is all about. It's actually about outplaying your opponent. It's all about true skill. What I'm telling you right now is that Withered Knight is versatile. All his tools are relevant. There's nothing bad that you can run, I'd say. The talents, there are bad talents, but then there are some talents that are non-negotiable, But that is my great sword Withered Knight guide. I did this live on my Twitch, but I'm also streaming on Kick, YouTube, and, X, Why not? But yeah, that is my Withered Knight guide. Again, versatile. You can use all of his tools properly, and you would still achieve the same effect. There is not a bad skill in his bone, but there are some bad talents. But that's neither here nor there. My name is Hanya, that's how you pronounce it, and thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, or don't. Everyone does that in the beginning of the video. I'm doing it towards the end. I rather, you know, not annoy people, you know, but I'm gonna do it here. Anyways, I'm usually post my schedules on Twitter because it's just easier. But yeah, that's me. All right, everyone. Peace.